Your Inner Entrepreneur is an ICE SPE for OCTI's Entrepreneurship in the Trades SHSM programming. This video will provide a brief summary of the post-event materials that can be found on the OCTI website. You can see from our SPE roadmap that the pre-event activities include a pre-activity survey, modules 1, 2, and 3. So looking at what an entrepreneur is, why become an entrepreneurial, and an examination of entrepreneurial traits. Module 4 is the meeting of the sector entrepreneurs. Our post-activity modules 5 and 6 and the survey help consolidate the learning from modules 3 and apply the learning from the sector entrepreneurs meeting and connect it also into a summer company. Included in the resources are a student handbook and a certificate for the teachers to issue to students upon completion. Please take a look at the teacher resources at the beginning of the presentation for key ideas related to delivery. There's also some suggestions and tips in the speaker's notes. Module 4 is the actual sector partner event. School boards, schools can join the OCTI event or customize their own event to better suit their student needs. An organizer for the student has been created for the event that can be edited more specifically. Like the pre-event activities, the last two modules have related videos included, and each one has a Think Like an Entrepreneur embedded. Teachers delivering the content can customize and edit to suit the needs of their students. And again, check the speaker's notes and the teacher's resources for tips and additional explanations. Module 5 takes a look at reflect and connect the student as an entrepreneur. So this is a slide from the teacher resource. And it refers the students to the student handbook. So the students are selecting one of the featured entrepreneurs from the event, and they connect and reflect on the concepts learned in the pre-event activities, the event, and their own entrepreneurial potential. Video suggestions are incorporated as well. If you're doing the post activities a little bit after the actual event, just to help activate their learning again. There is also an aspect that connects to customer service in the back end, and OCTI also has a customer service certification that could partner with your inner entrepreneur. Here is the student worksheet for Module 5. So it has student identifying the venture and then the entrepreneur from the SPE event, its customer relations, the three entrepreneurial traits, and then why they admire and can they see themselves as an entrepreneur. Space for a Venn diagram has been put in there. You know, what are the entrepreneurial traits that they see from the entrepreneur and what are their own, and is there any intersection of the two? Here's the Think Like an Entrepreneur activity for this module. It is riddles. So here's an example. So there's a series of different riddles, and you can check the teacher resources for the answers. They are there. And if you're dying to know if you're right, the solution is a map. Isn't that clever? Module 6. This is the longer of the two modules in the post activity, and it's entrepreneurship and action. So it's taking the ideas of their entrepreneurial traits and their SHSM sector and putting it into action and application in a summer company model. So this will take it at least 75 minutes, probably 2 minutes, or 2 75 periods to get through this. Students will be doing some calculations around startup funds and profitability, some really simple math. Having access to technology and internet will be helpful for students for this one. A more detailed version of business planning and costing is available in the related OCTI SPE costs of running a business. It's more math-based than this, and it's a full SPE. You could also partner with your local small business enterprise center and have them come in. They are the ones that roll out the summer company program. And Junior Achievement also has a program, Be Entrepreneurial, that could be used instead of or in conjunction with this model. So we start the students off thinking with a quotation. There's no shortage of remarkable ideas. What's missing is the will to execute them. So it's one thing to have a small business idea. It's another thing to follow through with the business planning. And that's what this module will have them do. Here's part of the template for the student template for Module 6, having them come up with a basic business plan. So this doesn't necessarily have to be related to their SHSM sector, but it would be a good idea if they could. It's big picture planning. They could do this in pairs as well. So coming up with an idea, who their customer is, pricing, sales, advertising, costing, and employees. The teacher handbook or slide deck has a series of prompts for each one of these areas in the big picture planning to help support the students as they work through this. So for example, here's the startup budget. So giving them $1,500 to get started, which is also what the summer company does. And it has some thinking about how much money will they need for the first 30 days. So considering startup costs, and there's some fees built in here that are typical in the province of Ontario. And then some basic ideas of operating expenses, insurance, bank charges, marketing, phone, utilities, and wages. Some costs have been given here just to get students started. Of course, this could be edited. A lot of kids don't realize that there's bank charges for companies, so that is always a really interesting discussion. So teachers can provide other resources for approximate numbers for the use of the startup budget. Teachers delivering the content are also encouraged to change to better suit the local conditions or the sector. And when the students are finished with their summer company idea, students or student groups could present their venture ideas. Again, much more resources and detail is given in the full SPE. When the SPE is finished, you can follow up with a post survey. So they'll wrap up to see if their opinions of themselves as an entrepreneur have changed at all. And so hopefully that opinion has evolved. Remember to check the OCTI website for all of the resources. The last resource that I want to show you today is the student certificate. So this is done in a PowerPoint slide that teachers can print and fill in the content for the student as part of the completion of the SPE. Make sure to check the OCTI website for all of the resources.